Hey guys, welcome to a new episode of the podcast WIZLAND with Wiz. Happy to be with you guys today. Today we're talking about something very important that I personally did not have when I was coming up through the ranks, becoming or trying to achieve the goal of becoming a professional footballer here in the United States. And it is something that was it reminded me today when I watched that film in Netflix, which is about Anelka. Anelka was one of the better French players that came up through the ranks in France. He also went through a professional soccer academy or football academy. And one thing that he actually shared today was in that documentary was you have to believe that you're the best footballer even if the next person to you is better than yourself. And I think that's one of the that's one of the best things that you can think of and really take it to heart. Just because when you're going into a competitive field, such as football, where thousands, if not millions, of people are trying to make it big, in the leagues, trying to make it, you have to have the type of mindset. Nobody will kind of tell you that into you, and it's something that is pretty much unthought of when you're young, and it's something that you have to start working at a young age. As much as you might think you're putting in work technically, as much as you're thinking that you might going into the pitch, giving your all in the pitch, if you don't have the mindset to play at that next level, you will never get there. And on today's today's podcast, I want to share the things that I know that will help you immediately get you in the right path. Something that I wish I would have known when I was younger. And take this advice as coming from someone. If you had an older brother, that's advice that an older brother would give you. For me, I wish I'm the oldest, so my voice is the one giving advice to everyone around me, my younger siblings, and now the players that I'm coaching. I'm taking down that role as someone that wants to guide, and I think that is very important when you have someone like that in your corner, always trying to look for what's best for you. So the main thing is mindset. If you don't have a strong mindset, you're not going to make it. That's an automatic. If you're not thinking that you're the best player or your best, let's say you're starting off in a particular region of the United States. Let's say you're starting off in California, Texas, Florida, one of the bigger states, New York. And if you don't believe that you're the best player in your team and in that region, then you have a lot of growth to do in that aspect, because if you don't have the confidence, it's going to show in the pitch. For me, it took a lot of time for me to actually get better with that. And I did not know how much of confidence I lacked until now. Until now that I'm off the game. I don't really play no more. I don't see the game as a player. But I see it more as a coach, as someone that is learning the game and the tactical aspects of it. So now I can see how much of that I was missing for myself. So it is very important. If you're not thinking correctly, if you don't have your mind right, if you're not getting focus, then it's gonna be very difficult for you to make it in that next level. The reason I share Anelka's documentary, so if you look it up online on Netflix right now, if you're in the United States, it's on Netflix. I'm pretty sure if you just put on the search bar Anelka, you'll be able to actually find that doc. And it's about his career. It tells you how he came up with Thierry Henry, how he was left out of the 1998 World Cup at 19, I believe. And he goes through the stages that he had his career. And a lot of people believe that he was one of those athletes that is not talked about. It's kind of forgotten. I personally did not see him when I was growing up. And watching this kind of documentary kind of gave me that thought, and it reminded me of why I wasn't able to really push through all that, I guess, push through the noise and get to that next level. Him, in the other hand, he was able to start at a very good position. I mean, he was put into an academy, and then once he was in the academy, he was able to compete for a spot that he was able to earn. He was signed by the PSG club, and then eventually he wasn't signed by PSG, so he was one of the first players to kind of sign to make his own decision of not signing with PSG, and actually they had to change some rules with that now because of him. So he actually ended up signing with Arsenal at the age of 19, I believe, and then he was able to go and play for Arsenal. Something that the PSG or the French Federation didn't like, because I guess they wanted to home their own home talent instead of giving it away to a country like England. So nevertheless, I mean, this guy started off well, and while he did play a couple of games for PSG, he then signed a long-term contract with Arsenal, and he played for Arsenal for about 2.5 years. I had no idea that he had been in so many leagues leading up to this point. But like I said at the beginning of the video, one of the main things that I got from this documentary was his mindset. One of the things that I kind of catch from a lot of the best players of the world and the best athletes and things of that nature is how different their mindset is. It's not only the love of the game. If you love it, that's a good start. Obviously you have to have talent, and I think that that's one of the main things that you have to understand and be real with yourself. If you have no talent, and I'm meaning you're not one of the players that stands out in your club at this moment, not saying that you can never get to that point, but if you're not the top player in your club or in your team, you're not, when you go to different teams, you're not, for example, if you're a striker, you don't really score, then you have to be real with yourself. There might be a limited amount there might be a maxed out of an opportunity that you can achieve based on your talent, because while there is people that can make it on the leagues, and they will eventually make it on the league just based on their work, nowadays it's pretty different. I mean, just by looking at the people online and things of that nature, I know there's a small percentage of people in the world, but there is a lot of people out there, and more so kids, that have a lot of technical talent. Sometimes that is not able to translate to live games because of their mindset. They might be nervous. They might not know how to interact within the team. And there's so many things that can actually go into that aspect of having a good mindset. I'm going to give you and share this example of myself, because I do think that would be very helpful for anyone. Not only that plays offense, but someone that is coming through the ranks of playing club, playing high school, and eventually trying to play college. For me, I remember the first game I ever played for the high school I graduated from. Up to that point, I had never really played in a kind of. I had never played in an organized team. I had never played for a team that actually had a season. I would just play pickup games in the streets up to 10th grade. So 10th grade, I went to this charter school here in Houston, and I ended up graduating from this charter school. My first actual game for that school, I ended up scoring a hat trick. And I remember we ended up winning. I remember very clear. I remember we won that game 5-3. And it was my first game officially playing for a actual team. I was given the opportunity to start that game, and after that, I really never came off the bench unless I was injured. But I never really came off the bench. And to be honest with you guys, the thing is that I would still have players in my team talking crap about me, even if I would score hat tricks and things of that nature. If I miss one, they would say, "Hey man, you could have scored 4 goals," and I understood where that was coming from, but my mindset was not good enough to understand that I could have used that to become even better the next game. And not saying that it really affected me, because at that moment, while I was happy that I scored the 3 goals, I was ready for the next game. So I really wasn't thinking about the amount of goals that I was missing and things of that nature. But I was thinking more so about what my peers were telling me. That instead of scoring 3, I could have scored 5. Or instead of scoring 2 goals, I could have scored 3. And things of that nature. So instead of me focusing on the good things that I was doing and building on those things, I would allow the negative things to get to me, and that will kind of prevent me from getting better. I don't know if I'm making sense, but for whatever reason, when you decide to focus in the negative things, and I'm not saying focusing in the negative things is a bad thing, because you can use negative things to kind of make you better, but I was using and allowing negative things to mess up my game. Meaning my self-talk. I would stop shooting the ball because I didn't want to miss. Instead of me just trying to shoot the ball from outside the box, what I would do, I would juke 1, 2, 3 players, but I wouldn't sometimes not be able to finish that last touch after doing so much because I was afraid of shooting. So instead of me trying to shoot from the outside, I would try to juke everybody, which sometimes it would work. It would be an easy goal because I would end up juking the goalie and just score. But 9 out of 10 times, that's the difficult play. There's no reason I should be continue to do that. And I kept doing it. Basically my sophomore year I did it. My junior year I did it. My senior year I did it. And that's the thing about it. If you don't have a coach around you, or coaches, or a set of coaches around you, or someone around you that is watching your games, then it's going to be pretty difficult for you to understand what you're doing wrong. And when you're just going based on what people are saying around you, in the sense that maybe you have one of your same peers telling you should have missed. You should have made the goal, or you missed a very clear goal. Yes, you missed the goal, but there's no way you can repeat that play in your head in real time. There's no way you can go into a video and watch it. There's no way you can learn what you did wrong because you're not actually looking at what you did wrong. So that's one of the main things. That's one of the main reasons that I share that. Start recording games, regardless of wherever or whatever phase of your career you're in. Record your games because it's going to help you. Having said that, the first thing that you can do about your mindset is telling yourself that you're the best player on the field. And the thing is that maybe you're not the best player right now, but the fact is, if you keep telling you enough, you're gonna be creating this belief in your subconscious mind. When you start saying those things, it's just like anything in life. When you start believing things that are positive and you start telling yourself those things, something happens in your brain where it is kind of tatted and encrypted into your subconscious mind, that you start doing things that will kind of equate to that belief. Not saying that it's going to happen by itself. What I'm saying is that you tell yourself that, and then you're going to have to put in the work that kind of relates to that belief. It's the same thing as saying, I want to make $1 million. It's not going to, the $1 million are not going to put themselves in your bank account. You're going to have to do the work. You have to do something that is going to make you better. You have to create a business. You have to have a better job. All these different things go to it. But when it comes to you're building your mindset, that's the first step you should take. Start with that belief that you're the best player on the field. The second thing that I would tell you is look at the people that made it. Look at the people. There's so many documentaries nowadays that you can actually take a look at the people that made it. There's a good documentary of Luis Figo when he actually got signed from Barcelona to Real Madrid, and that's a perfect example of the mindset and the type of thought process that a guy has to go through to experience something like that and not let that affect them for the rest of their lives. The guy could have easily quit football after signing with Real Madrid, after just playing with Barcelona. If you're a football guy, you know that's a no-no. It's like Messi signing with It's like Messi signing with Real Madrid or Ronaldo signing with Barcelona at their prime. So that would have been, it would have been epically crazy. People from the other side would have hated that player, and that's what happened with Figo. But the fact is that he actually was able to win the Ballon d'Oro that same season, I believe, after he got signed with Real Madrid. And a lot of people would have never been able to come back from that, because there would have been, every time he touched the pitch in Barcelona, he would get booed, to a point where they had to stop the first Clásico. And yeah, it's crazy stuff, man. Like, you have to have a strong mindset, and that can only be done when you understand that, for one, you're meant to be where you're at. You deserve the opportunity to be there, and you're one of the best players that, for one, that you can be, and maybe one of the best players that has ever touched the pitch. You have to have that type of confidence, and it's not gonna be easy. I think that for me, going back to the story of me allowing the negative feedback to get to me in a negative way, when you mess up, the easiest thing for you to do is to learn from your mistakes. Don't allow your mistakes to hinder you. Allow your mistakes to be learning lessons and stepping stones. When everyone is gonna mess up, but I think that the most important thing that you can do right after your mistake is try to make that mistake right. If you miss a goal, make sure that you don't miss a goal the same way the next time. And don't allow, because I would tell myself like I will get so frustrated and mad about it, that it kind of did affect my entire game. Don't allow a mistake that you make at that particular time frame mess up the entire game, because it can easily do that, and nobody really knows what's going on outside of you, and that makes it very difficult for your coaches, your teammates, to understand of why you're messing up. They don't know that you might be talking to yourself very heavily and very bad already. So them telling you, hey, like, you messed up, you're messing up, it's like, sometimes people do that just because they do see that you're messing up, and instead of trying to help, sometimes they do make it worse. But it's on you to kind of allow them to be who they are, allow them to say whatever they want, but it's on you to kind of fix that in your brain. So me, so after I watched this documentary of Anelka, it's pretty evident that the guy had talent. One of the things that you have to see, and that's why I have to go, you have to have talent. But once you have the talent, you have to work hard. Once you work hard, you have to have the mindset. Those three things will allow you and will get you to a place where you can play professional ball. And I think mindset works with discipline. Your mindset works with you believing that you're a football player already when you're a young age, and actually doing the things that football players do starting from a young age. I think that looking at enough content out there from professional athletes like Thierry Henry, when he's got an interview about his career, like things like Anelka getting an interview, things like other people getting an interview, I've really much learned a lot from these people, because they actually are telling you what they were going through in those cases. Now you have documentaries about Messi, documentaries about Ronaldo, so you can kind of go back and see what they had to go through and what they had to fight in order to get to their levels. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy for anyone, but I think that the first thing that you have to start thinking about is how you're going to make yourself better with your mindset. The more you focus on your mindset, the more you're going to attain in the pitch. And I think and that's one of the things that you have to work outside of the pitch. It's not going to happen inside the pitch. You have to kind of talk to yourself every day. I'm a professional footballer, so what are you eating? What are you training? What are you watching? How are you getting better? And I think that once you start doing that and you can actually tell what you're doing, you're going to believe it, and you're just going to be on the route to hopefully one day becoming a pro athlete. This tip is not for just kids that are starting young, but also for kids that are in high school. If you're 14 years old, if you're 15 years old, even if you're in middle school, or even if you're like 20, if you're 20, it's still not too late, man. I think, like I share, and I truly believe this. If you're a good athlete, if you're good at your position, it's on you. It's your duty to put yourself out there. It's your duty to look into tryouts, see how you can actually network with these people that are in charge of these places, like tryouts, teams, different leagues. There's so many opportunities out there. Is for you to actually do the work. And I think that nowadays, with social media, with the internet, it's pretty much on you to kind of put yourself out there if you really want to play the professional life. uh, you have diets that you can follow, that professional athletes follow. You can find that online. You have exercise regimens. You have coaches that actually have been within academies, um, that have been in professional teams, that actually do their own thing now. They have academies, they have camps. It's on you to look for all those things and put yourself in a position where you can at least get a chance to showcase your talent. So yeah, guys, I hope you made it to the end of the video. It's all about your mindset, man. And I think that the more you understand that it's all in here, the more you're going to get better and the more your game is going to evolve. One of the main things that I've seen when Xavi, when Kroos have actually got an interview, is that they were able to see the next pass before the ball gets to them. So you have to be able to visualize what's coming next, what's your next step. And that's part of your mindset. That's nothing that has to do with your talent per se. That's about how you're getting prepared. That's about how you think about the game. And those things sometimes nobody really talks to. And when you get, if you do enough research, you'll find those gems that will help your game. And I think that I did not do that when I was your age. I did not do that when I was 15. I wish I would have done it. I wish I would have done that when I was 11. But trust me, the younger you are and you're watching this, the better it's going to be for you, as long as you put this into practice. And the older you are, even if you play Sunday League, man, if you want to be the best Sunday League player in your local league, it's all about your mindset. You have to believe that you're the best fucking soccer player out there, regardless of who you're playing, regardless of who you're facing. And trust me, if you believe it, it's gonna show. The confidence that does come off in the pitch when you show it. So yeah, guys, I hope you have a good day. Take a sip. Salute. See you on the next one. Take care.